Hi, my name is Megan Bernard, and I'm the AVC for Instructional Quality and Innovation at City Colleges of Chicago. I'm also, outside of my work at CCC, an asynchronous course instructor for students from a variety of backgrounds, most of whom are adult learners. I'm really happy that you have decided to take this Teaching with Technology 101 asynchronous offering, and I hope you'll share your feedback about your experience with the class so that we can make it as productive as possible for all of our full and part-time instructors at City Colleges of Chicago. I wanted to share with you a little bit about why this particular asynchronous course puts so much emphasis on the idea of backward mapping from student learning outcomes all the way down to individual lesson plans and assessment plans at a hyper individualized level. The idea here is that if you're going to be working with a class in a face-to-face setting or even an online live setting, you've got some opportunities to feel out your students and see where they're having some successes, where things are starting to click, and where they're still reaching to try to grasp the concepts and the skills that you've put forward as important parts of their learning in your class. In an asynchronous class, you really set the tone and the culture of the course in your materials because your interactions with them are a little bit more limited. You'll still have plenty of opportunities to get to know them as they submit work to you, and they'll come to know you as you provide announcements and nudges. They make their way through the material that you're sharing, and you're providing feedback on their work. But as you get started, you are thinking in your design about the hypothetical students who will be coming to know your course and its material via what you're delivering to them, sometimes at 1 in the afternoon and sometimes at 1 in the morning, whenever they're active and accessing the course materials. If you have in mind explicitly the learning outcomes that you are attempting to guide them toward and support their development toward at the outset, and you can make the relationship between those learning outcomes, what you're sharing, and what you're asking them to submit to you for evaluation, very transparent and very explicit. You are empowering them not only to be successful in learning the material of your course, but in developing some of the habits of thinking and habits of engaging in their own learning. You bring them along with you when there is a clear line from this lesson, this reading, this material, this video, this assignment, this due date, and what you hope they will build to. Being able to do, know, represent, synthesize at the end of the time that they spend in your course. When you make those connections detailed, explicit, and transparent, and you can show the through line between what you're asking them to do and what they'll be able to do at the end of the time in your course, then you demonstrate for them that they're the same kind of intentionality in other classes that they might take through the same modality or through other modalities, and you help to crack open some of the things about learning that might have been a little bit more encoded for them in other classes. You bring them in as the co-creators of their learning experience, and you help prepare them to be able to leverage those meta lessons about learning and effort and engagement in a course in other settings. So time you spend on linking up what you do in every module with the student learning outcomes that are the core of why you teach the material that you teach in this class, the more prepared they'll be to be successful, not only in your class, but beyond. And that's why that's an emphasis here. I hope you can see some value in the areas of effort and attention that are called forward in Teaching with Technology 101. And I hope you'll stay in touch with your suggestions for additional resources or improvements that can be made here so that, as I mentioned, this can be as productive as possible for you and for your colleagues across all of our 7 colleges. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you find this really useful and you have a great term.